Hi, my name is Rodgers, and for the last year I've been Director of Anglican Formation at the Vancouver School of Theology. Having served in the Anglican Church for over 30 years in 3 different dioceses and in a variety of capacities in the church, when the position here came open, I thought I might have something to offer, especially considering that I'd worked with a number of student interns and had worked as a university chaplain along the way. I was always interested and intrigued in the relationship between the seminary and the life of the real church, you could say. A historical event, a historical story always kind of moved me. It was of a Presbyterian superintendent working in the west of Canada in the 19th century and experiencing frustration in trying to install students in meaningful ministries in the west, and discovering that they really didn't know much about the places, the contexts in which they'd be serving. So he wrote back, apparently, to the East, kind of tongue-in-cheek, complaining, less Latin, more horse. So it's that interplay between the theoretical and the practical where I find myself at Vancouver School of Theology, in a kind of praxis mode, you might say, in the realm of teaching what might be called pastoral theology. I'm responsible for a number of teaching retreats. I teach 7 in total, and all of them are involved in that aspect of connecting the practical with the theoretical. I guess my goal is to enable students to know what they're doing and know why they're doing it, and to do that well. I'm also here in the role of pastor and chaplain. I'm here as a personal support to students, to offer them a place where they can just come and be heard, or where they can sound off about some of the frustrations and try to gain some sense of perspective in what is sometimes a very overwhelming and confusing environment. And so just to be an encourager and helping them kind of keep their spirituality in focus as well as they move through this very challenging and also very rewarding process here at VST. I also coordinate Anglican worship here at VST, and that is centered in the Eucharist and also in other practices like the daily office, where we try to encourage students to develop a meaningful practice of liturgical spirituality. And I try to engage the students as much as possible in participating in the liturgy. And I was really pleasantly surprised at how many were willing even to preach at our public liturgies last year. One in particular stands out for me. One of the students who ended up preaching on a day when both the principal of the college and her preaching professor attended worship. And she stood right in there and gave an incredible homily. And so it's that kind of connection where they're worshiping, they're developing their spirituality that way, but they're also learning how to do it. It becomes a kind of workshop as we do that. VST is a rewarding and exciting place to be for a lot of reasons. I'm involved in the Anglican Formation piece, where we try to make sure Anglican students understand their own Anglican ethos and kind of the way their church works. But students here study with a great variety of people, and I'm a great believer in a kind of ecumenical process around theological education. We study in close conjunction with United Church students, with Presbyterians, but also with folks of other faiths and none. And it provides a very rewarding, enriching, and challenging environment in which to study for the real church in the real world. From my own point of view, I get to sit down and have conversations with exciting and stimulating people who are on some amazing trajectories, and I'm talking about both staff and students. I think it's a tremendous privilege to be here. These people are the future of the church, and they're going to create a future which I think is going to be very dynamic and very exciting, and I'm just delighted to be part of it.